The Esports Broadcasting Network brings you the IndyCar Bravo Series from the Sim Racers Edge. Round number 2 from Kentucky Motor Speedway. Tonight's broadcast being brought to you in part by Diecast Nuts. Diecastnuts.com is a community site for people who love diecast, whether you want to post your collection, view other members' collections, buy, sell, trade, or just straight up add to your collection. Diecastnuts.com is the number one place to go. Other automotive memorabilia available as well at diecastnuts.com. That's nuts with a Z. Diecastnuts.com, or find them on their Facebook page by searching Diecast Nuts. We also have to thank our good friends over at Rocket Racing Setups. Rocket Racing Setups is quickly becoming one of the leading setup builders in the iRacing community. If you need race-proven, race-winning setups for your league, or if you want an official season championship, Rocket Racing Setups is where you need to go. Rocket Racing Setups offers both dirt and asphalt setups along with setup adjustment guides and precise fuel sheets, with the availability to request setups and one-on-one coaching if you'd like to build your own. Rocket Racing Setups is really difficult to beat for the price. If you're ready to take your sim racing experience to the next level, head on over to rocketracingsetups.com today. And Sim Racers Edge proudly thanks Turn Racing. Turn Racing is merging the gap between sim sport and motorsport. Turn Racing provides top-flight sim racing peripherals to help enhance your sim racing experience. Turn Racing also offers full racing guides to help better your skills and put you a step above the rest. Head on over to turnracing.com and take your sim racing equipment and ability to the professional level at an affordable price. And on a sad note, ESPN regrets to inform that the racing community lost one of its own today. Longtime Formula One racing announcer Murray Walker passed earlier today, as the number 2, Sam Cooper Bennett, is running a special tribute scheme tonight. We'll keep a close eye on Sam's progress, but thoughts and prayers from the entire ESPN family go out to the family of Mr. Murray Walker. You will sorely be missed, sir. Tony Trapasso up in the booth with you tonight for round number 2 of the Sim Racers Edge Bravo Series from the Kentucky Motor Speedway. Joining me up in the booth tonight is going to be Richard Spar, and over in the production truck, we've got Brad Kirby. Richard, this is your first time with us here at Kentucky, is it not?
Oh yeah, this is my first IndyCar race, broadcasting or watching, so I've seen some stuff in, obviously the real life stuff, but I've never got to watch one here on iRacing, so this is going to be interesting to see.
Well, you picked the best league to do so. These guys never fail to impress anytime they hit the track. As qualifying underway right now, 2 laps and done. Currently, Timmy Bates sitting atop the pile with a 25.120. Now, only 3 cars in the hot lap session were able to go sub 25. However, there were 14 cars within a tenth. I will say that again, 14 cars within 1/10 of 1 second of each other. You wanted jet fighters in the gymnasium? Welcome to the Kentucky Motor Speedway, my friends. Qualifying getting ready to wind on down right now. We've had 17 cars take time right now. Michael Bourne, Neil Messer, the only 2 that have not posted qualifying times. But, this field is just packed right now. You've
Definitely
got the top 10 separated by 1/10 of a second.
Definitely a packed field right now, but, looking at some of the practice times that we saw, earlier on, during that hour and 20-minute practice session that they had before we started this, there was a lot of even better times than we're seeing now. And, some of the times that we were seeing towards the end maybe fell off just a touch, but it's going to be interesting to see as we get ready for this little warm-up session, it seems like.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of these mile and a halves, is the draft plays such a huge role here. These guys running solo qualifying, to put up a 25.1 in qualifying is nothing short of miraculous. So, the fact that these guys gave up a little bit, to do single car qualifying. It's kind of to be expected, but expect the draft to really play a big role tonight. And anytime these guys can use the draft, you're talking some of the best that know how to use it to their advantage. As these guys just starting to click off some laps right now, just making sure that they know what to expect. Quick look at the weather conditions. We are looking at looks like mid-May type weather here for Kansas. 73-degree ambient air temperature, 98-degree track temperature with a 2-mile-an-hour wind pointed right down the back straightaway. That's something these guys are definitely going to have to be mindful of as they haul it off into turn number 3. Now, I did talk to a couple of drivers before we went live, and they were saying that the setup feels pretty good, but it's going to lead to a lot of pack racing. So something to really be mindful of tonight.
Definitely something we'll have to watch. Got to keep an eye on some of these cars in the draft. Watching these practice laps and these warm-up laps, you're seeing guys kind of fan out a little bit, not do anything, too crazy. But, you got to think start of the race, maybe after some cautions, really close pack racing, like you said, we could see some interesting moves being made here at this track.
Well, I'm looking at the names, and we see a lot of guys that have spent time in the Alpha Series as well. These guys have enough experience in open wheel cars to know that you've got to be around all 134 laps of tonight's event, or else you're screwed. You can't win it on the first lap, but you can sure as hell make your night a whole lot more difficult.
Absolutely. It's one of those things, kind of like you said, this is one of my first races here. So, watching this warm-up laps and watching some of the ways that these guys are, entering the corners different, kind of like you said, some of the guys from the Alpha Series as well. You're going to get a little bit of a difference as you see, coming into turn 1, coming into turn 3. So, who's going to make big moves, who's going to try to dive it down in the corner and maybe get a spot or two. I mean, you never know, especially here at Kentucky.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's one of the good parts about this track is you can run a couple different lines in a couple places. Like turn 1, you can make a couple of moves there, but you got to remember that turn 2 wall comes up real quick and the track kind of gets real narrow. Coming through 3 and 4, we're probably going to see 2 and 3 wide coming through there, because you can let it eat. But if you try to pinch it down, you can hold the low line coming through 3 and 4 on fresher tires. But as the tires start to wear out, you're going to want to move up to the second, maybe the third lane and let that car float. Otherwise, you're probably going to back the car into the wall.
Absolutely. And, we saw a couple of those instances in that practice session where, guys are just driving it in just a little bit too hard. I've seen it a couple times down here in the warm-up session, but tires are definitely going to play a little bit of a factor, like you said, as they wear, especially at a track like this where you're seeing guys try to make these moves, even in warm-ups, see where their car's at, where this setup is really going to hit for them. And, that, like you said, that turn 2 wall comes out really, really, really fast.
Absolutely. And the one thing I am glad to see that they're doing tonight is as they go into turn 3, there's an access road that leads to the pit lane. They're making those guys use the access road to get on and off the pit, which is a lot safer than trying to make it through the corner, get the car woed down, and then try to still make the commitment cone. So they are making them use that access road, which is probably going to come into a big factor before the night's out, because we've seen these guys go green flag stops before, and that is going to do it for the warm-up session, as last couple of cars, just getting their final breather in, final sip of water before they start to grid it up. Let's take a quick look at our starting grid. As starting up on the pole, and let me see if I can get my grid sorted out, is going to be the number 6 of Tim Bates. He's going to be joined on the front row with Jim Langvin, Bentley Glazier, and Frank Marchese in his debut with the Sim Racers Edge Bravo Series is going to be starting off in row number 2. Row 3 sees Carl Burke and Mark McFadden, and Tyler Bloom and Brett Beasley roll off in row number 4. Row 5 brings us Rick Ravon and Yari Brabhatcher.
Row number 6 is going to bring us Paul Krumel and Will Fletcher. Row number 7 will bring us John Antonucci and Chris Walker. Row number 8 will bring us Dave Lold and Shane Leveridge. Row number 9 will bring us Sam Cooper Bennett and Michael Bourne. And rounding out your 19-car field will be Neil Messer.
And if my eyes don't deceive me, welcome to the new build of iRacing. We have a new pace car.
I haven't seen it yet.
I just now saw it, so don't feel bad.
That is a new pace car. It looks like a Tesla. I have to see when it comes around.
I have no idea. Oh, that makes 2 of us. So tonight's trivia question. If you know what the new pace car of iRacing is, go ahead and drop it in the chat. As the field works its way down the back straightaway here at the Kentucky Motor Speedway, the only thing that's left to do for these drivers is take another deep breath, wipe the visor, pull the belts tighter one more time, and we're getting ready to turn them loose for 134 laps here at the Kentucky Motor Speedway. As the field works its way out of turn number 4, the only thing that's left to say is Grandpa. You know what time it is. Pace car is in as Timmy Bates is going to bring him down to green, holds him down. Green flag is in the air, and we are underway at the Kentucky Motor Speedway, and these guys are already 3 wide.
3 wide going down here into turn 1. Timothy Bates with a really good jump there down there on that bottom side. He's going to lead him off coming out of turn number 2. It looked like that bottom lane really got a nice jump. The outside lane didn't really move a whole lot. Bentley Glazier right up there in that lead pack, those top 3 really. We're seeing battles back behind here as we come out of turn number 4.
Rick Ravon trying to make some headway coming up through the middle the hard way right now. Not happy with his qualifying time as he's already picked off a couple of spots. As Frank Marchese holds down the number 4 spot, he has Brett Beasley all over his rear wing right now, and here comes Ravon.
Ravon was definitely really, really fast there in that practice, session before qualifying. Has to be disappointed with the way that he qualified, but moving up through this field very, very quickly as we're seeing him try to make some big, big moves here in the early stages of this race.
Bates, Burke, Glazier, Marchese, your top 4 right now as they fan out down the back straightaway. 3 wide one more time, and that is Ravon on the inside. Marchese doing everything he can to try to keep these guys behind him. Sorry, that's Langvin right in front of 2 yellow cars. Got me confused. I apologize, folks.
It looks like Langvin right in front of him. Rick making some moves. It looked like Langvin maybe got in the wall coming out of 2.
He did. There is a tire mark coming off of 2. So Langvin could have a little bit of damage on that suspension on the right side of that number 17 as he is falling back into that pack of wolves behind him. That's Bloom, McFadden, Brabhatcher, and Walker coming up like gangbusters. Meanwhile,
Absolutely.
Timmy Bates almost a full second to the good at the front of this field.
Bates just pulling away right now, and he is just hitting all of his marks the way that he needs to, running just a lane up down here in 3 and 4, just stretching out this lead. It seems like is nobody really has anything for him right now here in the early going of this race.
Absolutely, and that's what clean air can do, especially on fresher tires. As Carl Burke trying to figure out a way to get by Bentley Glazier. Glazier has gotten by Burke. Burke was running in second at the opening of this race, as Burke starting to fall back into the clutches of Brett Beasley right now.
Beasley definitely trying to make some moves right now. it seems like Beasley maybe entering the corner a little bit higher, trying to tuck down a little bit through the center of the corner. He's going to take a peek to the outside down here, down the back straightaway, and it looks like he is going to get the position down here into 3 and 4. As we have even more cars coming up, it looks like Rayvon now going to try to put his name into it.
Rayvon getting a good tow from the 69 of Beasley. And wow, that was close.
Very close going into turn 1.
Beasley ducking down in front of Carl Burke and almost taking the front wing off. And you can see the different lines starting to pay off already, as that was Beasley and Rayvon using that higher line. Rayvon throws it to the inside and says, I'll apologize to the tires later, as they go through 3 and 4. And just like that, Rayvon up onto the podium as Bates, 3/4 of a second to the good over second place Bentley Glazer. Glazer a full second to the good over Rayvon right now, as these guys are starting to get fanned out a little bit. Marchese to the inside of Beasley now. And Marchese not normally seen in Indy cars very often. Doesn't have a lot of open wheel experience. We see him in a lot of tin top stuff, but showing that he can hold his own here in the Indy cars.
Definitely.
And here comes Paul Crumry as well.
Definitely, this little battle right here for about 5th place, looking really, really dangerous. I mean, these guys are moving around, doing the things they need to be doing right now. Paul putting his name in there, trying to get up there into the 6th spot. He's going to see if he can maybe run down and put his car into the top 5 right now.
Crumry has been one of the bad luck kids here in the Sim Racers Edge League, if you will. Runs both divisions, but might just as well hang a kick me sign on the back of his car, or at least put a target on the rear fender saying aim here, because he has been caught up in other people's dumpster fires more times than I care to count. But Bates, Glazer, Rayvon, Burke, Beasley, Crumry, Bloom, Marchese, Brupatcher, and Will Fletcher rounding out your top 10, as we've got a battle heating up for 7th right now. It's Tyler Bloom in the 96, Frank Marchese in the 60, and Yari Brupatcher in the 89, just throwing haymakers at each other right now.
Absolutely. These 3 cars really battling hard for that 7th spot. Bloom trying to hold him off right now. He's going to go to that middle lane. He's going to try to keep that car wound up and keep doing the things that he needs to do, as we are seeing just money moves right now. He's trying to hold on to it. These 2 guys behind him, they want that spot.
Marchese had a big wiggle coming off of 4, lost all of his momentum. That let Yari Brupatcher get to his inside, and that's going to put Marchese back to 9. Keep Brupatcher up into 8th as he now starts to work on Bloom. In the tow right now, coming down the front chute. And don't look now, but here comes Will Fletcher in the 28.
Fletcher kind of coming up behind him, doing the things that he needs to do to stay with this group. You know, this is a battle for, right around 6th place. So, putting yourself in a good position here early in the race, as it seems like Marchese falls back just a little bit, and Fletcher's going to capitalize down here in 3 and 4.
Marchese seems to be struggling, as they seem to have worn all the goodie off the tires, as we've got 15 laps into the books. Working lap 16 of 134 right now. Bates starting to lose ground. He may have gone too hard too quick, as Glazer has cut that lead from almost a full second down to just under half a second.
Yeah, Bates seeming like he's trying to stay on that low line from what I'm seeing right there, maybe just a lane up. And Glazer just following in his tracks right now, trying to keep that draft, trying to get closer and closer and closer. And it doesn't seem like Rayvon's making a whole lot of ground up on Glazer right now. But you got to think, with the moves that Rayvon made here early in this race, he's got to be maybe thinking tires here at this next stop.
Safe bet, as the battle for 4th heating up between Carl Burke and Brett Beasley right now. Excuse me. The battle between Burke and Beasley really heating up right now, as they're in lockstep coming off of turn number 2. Side by side, down the back straightaway they come. That's Burke on the high side, Beasley on the inside, as Beasley full send it mode going into 3.
Beasley going to pick up the spot down here, coming down the front straightaway. But right behind him, Grummel all the way up there, battling for this position now. I mean, we're talking about a battle for fourth place here. You know, these guys trying to make the moves here early on in this race. Paul making big moves, and he's up trying to battle up now for the fourth spot.
Absolutely. Crumry, he's got the experience to make it happen. And as long as something's not out of his control, he should be good to go here tonight. He knows how to preserve that car. He knows how to keep the car under him for the long haul. He's just not had any luck in the closing laps of these events as of late. Meanwhile, up towards the front of the field, Glazier has taken another 10th out of Bates's lead. It's now down to 0.4 of a second at the very front of the field as Yari Brupatcher and Tyler Bloom in lockstep for 7th place.
Definitely a lockstep back here. They are battling it out. Bloom going to go to the outside. He's going to pick up the spot and hold on to it for now. But you got to think Jari down here, he's gonna take it easy, but he's gonna try to make up as much ground here because these guys have to be thinking, you know, we're starting to line out a little bit. Everybody's starting to settle in, you know, get a feel for their car on this nice long run, and you know, you got to put yourself in position towards the end of this race to really make an impact, and you know, you can't do that from way back in the field.
Absolutely, as these guys are running an 81% fuel fill tonight. So we're probably, I'd say, 10 or so laps before we should see some of these guys start to duck it down to pit road, provided the tires hold out that long. From the looks of it, we should be okay, but you know, it's still very early in this event, as Glazier may have had a little bit of problems. He's starting to lose ground to Tim Bates right now and fall into the clutches of Rick Ravon, as Ravon starting to make a bid for 2nd place.
And we've seen Ravon come from, you know, mid-pack at the start of this race all the way up to this 3rd spot, getting a really nice run down this back straightaway. He's going to go to the outside, see what he's got up here, maybe try to take a peek down this front straightaway. Just setting him up for a move, I'm guessing, down here in 1 and 2.
And there it is. Ravon full send-it mode going into 1. Side by side, they come off of turn number 2. Ravon taking the short way around, makes it happen, sticks the slider coming off of 2. Ravon up in a 2nd. We're under caution.
Not sure where that was.
Carl Burke in the 53 was involved.
Oh, you were talking about it earlier.
Right. Oh! My Atlanta.
Oh, tough luck again. Wow.
We're seeing the first round of pit stops happen. That was our first, thank God this is a simulator moment of the night. Luckily, these guys each have 1 quick repair. Good grief.
Oh, Burke just trying to make a move. It looked like maybe try to get to his outside and just clipped him right there in the right rear.
And that's the problem with the hips on these cars. That little cut or jut out behind the rear tire. It's very easy to hook a front wing on those. So
it's just terrible luck for Tyler Bloom. I mean, he's just driving down through there, and all of a sudden, boom.
Well, it was Bloom that hit Crumry. And it looks like of the cars that weren't involved in the incident, Rick Ravon winning the battle off the road. Bentley Glazier coming off in 2nd, Timmy Bates in 3rd. So Bates losing 2 spots on that one.
You got to be thinking with Rick Ravon out front, which as aggressive as he has been here in the early stages of this race, he's going to be a tough competitor to beat, especially, like you said before, out front with that clean air. Man, he's going to be fast.
That's a safe bet. Rayvon has definitely been one of those drivers that isn't afraid to make moves, and he's proven that time and time again in across the multiple series that Sim Racers Edge runs. He knows how to make moves in traffic safely and get the job done. As unscheduled pit stop for Yari Brupatcher. Not sure exactly what happened there. No, that would have been an EOL if he got caught speeding. So, not sure exactly what took place there. As looks like Carl Burke has put it on the hauler. So the 53 calling it a night early tonight.
That was just a tough wreck. And tough for Paul. I mean, like you said before, I mean, you were talking about how, he's had such bad luck. He's just put a sticker on the back of the car. And, speak of the devil, first wreck, it's him getting a nice little touch in the right rear.
Yeah, exactly. I might just do a special paint scheme for Paul for next week with a target on both those little fender deals on the rear of the car that says "Aim here, stupid." As the lights go out on the brand new iRacing pace car,
like Tyler Blum coming down pit road here right before we go green.
And that looks like it might be pit strategy on his part. Is Rayvon going to have the button as the field works its way through the 1-2 complex? Let's, Richard, why don't you get us going this time?
I'll definitely take this one. Rick gonna get settled in. Him and Glazer on the front row, getting settled down this back straightaway. As we say, the calm before the storm. Getting ready to go green here at lap 29. iRacing pace car. That's still a little weird, but iRacing pace car getting ready to come down pit road. We're getting ready to get these guys set to go back racing. Pace car slowly making its way. Gonna take that quick turn down. And here we go. Green flag is waving. Rick Rayvon with a nice little jump down the front straightaway. He's going to lead us.
As Beasley and Bates side by side for third place right now as they haul it off into turn number 1. They got Will Fletcher and Frank Marchese right behind them as Bentley Glazer giving Rick Rayvon all he can handle at the very front of this field. Glazer to the inside, side by side going into turn number 3. Glazer's got his best shot at him right here. Rayvon battles back on the high side as they come off of 4.
Huge battle for the lead here. We knew Glazer was going to have to do something here on the start to hold off Rayvon here in the early stages. Glazer going to go down here to the bottom. Rayvon to the outside. He's not going to quite be able to clear him down the back straightaway. Door to door. Coming down here into turn number 3. Glazer going to keep it on the bottom. Rayvon going to stay to the outside. Glazer trying to clear him down the front stretch, still door-to-door at the line.
Give that lap to Glazer by 7/1000ths of a second. Now, this is something we talked about during the pre-race, where on the fresher tires, you can make that bottom lane work. But as the tires wear out, you're going to need to move up a lane or more. As Glazer now goes to the high side, makes Rayvon burn the goodie off his tires. Rayvon gets a great run off of 4. Down to the stripe they come. Give that lap back to Rayvon.
Well, these two just swapping lines right now. Rayvon going to drift up a little bit, trying to get in front of Glazer. It's not going to quite work. He's going to go to the outside down here. Ooh, they are getting close coming down through here. Still door to door out of turn number 4. Looks like Rayvon at the line.
No quarter asked for, no quarter given, as those two battling up at the front has allowed Timmy Bates and Brett Beasley to reel them back in, as here comes Bates to the inside on Glazer right now. Thinks better of it going down the back straightaway, just throws it to the inside going into 3. That's Rayvon with the lead. Glazer sitting in second in the black car, and Timmy Bates in the red, white, and blue with his teammate Brett Beasley right behind him.
We are seeing a heck of a battle up front right now. Glazer's still trying to make the move. Bates, it looks like, maybe sitting back watching. You know, these second, third, and fourth, Bates and Beasley, you know, just sitting back watching this battle up front as we are still door to door, and now we're under caution.
Looks like Mark McFadden. That's an ouch. Tried to throw the block on Yari Brupatcher and almost collected Paul Crumry again. Great defensive driving there, heads-up driving by everybody that happened behind that. But, yeah, that could have gotten a lot more ugly than it was.
Yeah, Jari just looking to the inside, maybe trying to make a move here. You know, after that caution, trying to get as many spots together as he can. And you know, Mark McFadden just trying to throw the block there, and, you know, they come together coming into the corner.
Yeah, that was one of those deals where you don't want to give, but you kind of have to. That block was thrown just a little bit late on that one. Let's see if we've got any takers. Most of these guys have about 10 laps on their tires already, and a couple guys bringing it down pit road. None of the leaders, though.
Well, I mean, for some of these guys, if you're sitting, you know, maybe, you know, 10th, 12th, you know, 14th, somewhere, you know, mid-pack to the back, I mean, you almost maybe strategize a little bit to come in, take those tires, and try to work your way up through the field on a little bit fresher tires than the guys in front of you.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see that, but we didn't have quite as many takers as I thought we were going to have. You know, Bentley Glazer in the 87 was the first one to bring it down pit side. Yuri Brupatcher to try to get that front wing fixed. Johnny Antonucci, Sam Cooper Bennett, and of course Mark McFadden bringing it pit side. Everybody else seemed to have stayed out, so looks like Paul Crumry bringing it pit side as well. Little bit of fuel strategy starting to rear its head here, as we are 37 laps in the books already. So just inside 100 to go here for the Sim Racers Edge Bravo Series, race number 2 from the Kentucky Motor Speedway. And be sure to join us tomorrow night as we bring you the Majors Series from Long Beach, as they bring the Lotus 79 to that historic racetrack. That car is always fun no matter where you take it, and some of the best in iRacing going to throw their hat in the ring tomorrow night for the iRacing Majors Series live from Long Beach.
Taking a look at the lineup right now, it looks like Bentley Glazer back in 11th spot right now.
He was one of the ones to bring it down pit road.
Oh, okay. I was wondering, I looked up at the front of the field and I was thinking, oh, where's Glazer at? You know, and came down and got some tires.
Yeah, he came down pit road and nobody behind him went. So we're going to rack him, stack him, and fire it off again. You got Rick Rayvon showing the way, Brett Beasley, Timmy Bates, Dave Lodel. Excuse me, Dave Lodel pit. So Rayvon, Beasley, Bates, Will Fletcher in 4th, Frank Marchese up to 5th, James Langvin in 6th, Chris Walker in 7th, Michael Bourne in 8th, Tyler Bloom in 9th, and Bentley Glazer now sits in 10th as the lights go out on the brand new iRacing pace car. Ravon going to have the button one more time as we are going to restart with 39 laps in the books. And we still have, looks like 16 cars left, 15 cars left on the lead lap. Mark McFadden and Shane Loveridge, the only two not being scored on the lead lap so far, as the field works its way down the back straightaway. Ravon on the inside in that Gould Charge number 7. Beasley in the patriotic number 69. He's got his teammate Will Fletcher in the 28 to his inside one row back. And Fletcher has Timmy Bates, your early leader, sitting there with him in the 6th. Field works its way out of turn number 4. Pace car is in. Ravon pulls the trigger. We are back underway and already contact. That was Will Fletcher and looked like Frank Marchese getting into it coming off the 4.
Absolutely. Ravon started him very, very quickly, but to get out to that nice little gap, give him a nice little cushion, as Beasley down the back straightaway going to try to make a run. He's going to take it to the outside here. Ravon down to the inside, and Ravon going to lead us down for the first completed lap under green.
Ravon, Beasley, and Fletcher, your top 3, as Timmy Bates looks like he might be struggling as Beasley throws it to the inside of Ravon, going through 1 and 2, side by side, off of 2 they come. Almost contact, and looks like Will Fletcher looking to try to make a third lane. Contact, going into 3, and Ravon headlong into the wall.
Just a slight contact coming into turn number 3. Ravon gets it sideways and up into the fence. Tough break for Ravon.
It looked like a replay of exactly what we saw with the McFadden incident, where the trailing car tried to go to the inside and the leading car tried to throw the block just a tick too late, and cautions breed cautions.
Absolutely, just a slight, just really slight contact, if any. It just sent Ravon around. Just tough break for him.
Well,
just overall, I mean, Beasley's got damage to the front of his car now.
Yeah, Beasley's going to need to come in and get a new front wing put on at least. And I don't think he realizes just how much damage he has. But it doesn't take much to wow the wing here. And what I mean by that is, if you take a look at if we can get one of the high-speed drones to look back at Beasley's car, and you look at that front wing, you look at the right front of it, and you go, wow, what did you hit? But the good news is it's going to let Mark McFadden get the free pass and get back on the lead lap now.
A little surprised that William Fletcher doesn't have that front wing damage as well, because he made a little bit of contact there with Beasley after that whole incident. So something to watch. It doesn't look like he has any damage, but maybe
Glazer
something
caught
a little in
piece
the
of it
front.
too.
There's a couple of cars involved in this one.
Yeah, Glazer caught a piece of that as Ravon was spinning back down the track. So, there's quite a few cars that I'm seeing right now that are definitely going to need to get that front wing changed. Now, the good news is with the Indy cars and a lot of the open wheel stuff, you can go in and get that front wing changed and not burn your fast repair. So that's the good news. The bad news is Rick Ravon's already burned his fast repair because he had a lot of suspension damage after doing his best impersonation of Dan Weldon. So get your hate mail coming, folks. It's Sean Pastoral Care of ESPN Towers, Syracuse, New York, P.O. Box OU812.
Solid. That's pretty good. Looks like easily going to hold on to the lead for now. I'm not sure if he does realize yet that he has that damage on the front. Maybe he's going to try to keep it out there and see what he can do.
I don't think he realizes that he almost doesn't have a front wing. So, if not I don't think he's going to be up to speed enough to realize it in turn 1, but he's definitely going to realize it when he tries to throw it into 3. That's if he can still hold off Will Fletcher, because Fletcher's been strong all night. He was one of the only cars in the hot lap session to go 25 flat. As the field works its way off the 3-4 complex, lights should be getting ready to go out here tonight, and race control just changed the restart to single file. No more of this double file hoopla. So again? No. No, he's on track. Well, he had to drop to the tail end. No, he had to drop to the tail end of the field because... Anyways, lights are out on the brand new iRacing pace car, as Beasley going to have the button this time. Will Fletcher going to need to get a good restart, as he is in the sandwich of Beasley and Bates, the two teammates. James Langvin, Bentley Glazer, and Michael Bourne, Tyler Bloom, Frank Marchese, Sam Cooper Bennett up into the top 10, and Paul Crumrine back into the top 10 after getting caught up in something earlier. As the field worked its way through the 3-4 complex one more time, pace car getting ready to duck on in as they do the dance up into the dirty. And Beasley wastes no time pulling the trigger. We are back underway, working lap 46 of 134.
And Beasley there with a really nice jump. Fletcher, I don't think, knew what he was going to go, and Fletcher now going to go under fire from Bates. It looked like down there in turns 1 and 2, but a huge gap right now opened up by Brett Beasley. We'll see if that front wing plays a factor any, as it looks like he's already starting to lose a little bit of ground.
Absolutely. As you saw him have to really back out of it going into 3, that let Fletcher get a really good run on him coming through the 3-4 complex. Fletcher able to really carry a lot of momentum coming through 1 and 2, side by side down the back straightaway. 5-mile-an-hour difference hauling it off into turn number 3, as Beasley really has to back off almost 15 miles an hour just to hang with Fletcher. And we are back under caution already. Looks like Johnny Antonucci and Chris Walker getting it all wrong going into turn 3.
Looked like maybe one guy coming up, one guy coming down there. Just contact.
That was a classic pit maneuver there. Yikes.
Just come down and clipped him.
So we're back under caution as you just saw the accident between 23 of Chris Walker get into it with a 13 of Johnny Antonucci. So the big question is, who's going pit side this time? Looks like Tyler Blue going to be taking it pit side. Yari Brupatcher, Dave Lodel. Rayvon back into the pits. Mark McFadden back into the pits. Looks like Crumrine. Crumrine and McFadden both into the pits as well.
And Beasley still not coming down pit road yet. I mean, you got to think he has to know that something's wrong with that race car after going green that last time.
You would think. You would really think that he would, especially 22 laps on your fuel stint, your tire run, whatever you want to refer to it as. But Beasley getting the lead back as your leader brought it down pit side. So Beasley, Bates, Glazer, Langvin, Marchese, your top 5 this time. Freshest tires on track right now of the guys that didn't come down this time belong to the third place driver, the 87 of Bentley Glazer. And we saw him go pit side about 12 laps ago. Everybody else with 10 more laps on their tires is Michael Bourne bringing it pit side as well. So we're already starting to see a little bit different fuel strategy start to play out here as lights are still on the brand new iRacing pace car. Field's starting to form up single file behind it, though. As we still have 16 cars left on the lead lap. Shane Loveridge, the only one still running that is not being scored on the lead lap. He is 7 laps down in 17th position. So we were kind of expecting a little bit of difficulty here early on, especially with how close the practice times were. But we're really seeing it. The aggression level is cranked to 11 right now. As we're only 50 laps in the books this time across the stripe. Still a lot of racing left to do, and there's a lot of drivers that have already burned their quick repair.
Absolutely, and you know, we've seen it here early on in the stages of this race. You know, just guys trying to make big money moves. Maybe some guys trying to throw some blocks. So it's definitely, you know, early in the race. We still have a lot of time left. It's kind of like you said at the beginning of the broadcast. You know, you can't win this race at the very beginning. You can't win this race on lap 51 that we're on now. You've got to be around at lap 134 to get this win. And a lot of these guys already burning through their fast repairs early. It's going to be interesting to see as we continue.
Absolutely. Is Beasley going to have the button one more time? Timmy Bates going to have to go with him. And I know Tim's one of those gentleman racers, but I don't think his teammate in the 69 is going to have the speed to hold off the 6. So your pole sitter is going to have a real good chance right now to lead a few more laps before all said and done. But he's got to worry about that 87 right behind him. That's Bentley Glazer on the 10-lap fresher tires.
Absolutely. And, you know, Beasley out front, you know, we've seen that front wing, it's got the damage to it. So, you know, Bates he's going to have to make the move to get into the lead. And, you know, Glazer's going to be right there with him as the pace truck going to pull down. And Beasley going to fire off, and he's going to get a nice little gap going as we are back under green.
As Langvin stacks him up behind him, he did not get the restart he needed as Frank Marchese almost got into it with Sam Cooper-Bennett. Bennett now under attack from Paul Crumrye, and that's your battle for 6th. Meanwhile, Timmy Bates still trying to reel in his teammate. They both got a decent restart from Bentley Glazer. Glazer doing everything he can to try to hold pace with these guys. As now that we're up to speed, we're going to see that front wing of Beasley really start to come into effect next time they get back to turn number 3.
Absolutely, and you know, you're already seeing it now. Coming off of turn number 2, he's going to drift up a little bit. Both the cars behind him are going to make the move, it looks like, to the inside. Bates going to go down low. Glazer going to take a peek down here on the bottom. He's going to tuck back up behind him. And Bates going to have the lead, it looks like, in this lap number 34. Or 54, I mean.
15 one-thousandths of a second to Bates at the line. Glazer, though, all over the rear wing of Beasley as they haul it down the back straightaway side by side. It's Glazer with the nose out front as they haul it off into turn number 3. Beasley trying to fight back on the high side. Able to make that car work up towards the dirty stuff on the outside lane as he gets a decent run that time. And around, oh, there it goes.
Big contact. Big contact.
And they caught Langvin.
big contact going into turn 1.
Yeah, you hate to see that happen. But heads up driving by the 60 of Frank Marchese is he might have to change his sponsor from Sunoco to Haynes before this one's over, because that's definitely a first you say it, then you do it kind of moment.
But how about Rick Ravon driving right through the middle of that wreck?
I don't even think he lifted.
It doesn't look like he did. He drove right through the center of everything going on. Not a scratch on it.
As Glazer brings it pit side to try to get that front wing fixed, Sam Cooper Bennett able to make it through there unscathed as well. So, as currently the driver of the two, the Murray Walker Tribute car, currently your biggest mover, started 17th, currently sits in 4th, and now moves up in 3rd as Glazer brings it pit side. And how about the two teammates running 2nd and 3rd? That's my normal broadcast partners, Frank Marchese and Sam Cooper Bennett, sitting 2nd and 3rd. So good on you, boys. The question is, does either one of them have anything for Timmy Bates right now? And don't look now, but there's that dreaded Gould charge of Rick Ravon sitting right behind him. So
Going to be tough to hold off Rick Ravon. He has been on the move ever since that wreck. You know, when he was leading the race up there in the front, he has been coming ever since.
Absolutely. But now remember, ladies and gentlemen, as I do mention my broadcast partners, Frank Marchese and Sam Cooper Bennett, we are inching ever closer to the subscriber numbers that we've needed for those of us that have been with the company a while. If as soon as we hit, I believe it was 1,500 subscribers on the YouTube side, a few of us are going to get the ESPN logo tattooed somewhere on our person. We are inching ever closer to that taking place. So don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, share, turn on bell notifications, let your friends know. If they haven't subscribed, ask them to do so. And again, make sure you turn on bell notifications so you don't miss a single moment of action here on the ESPN family of broadcasts. As looks like the lights are still on the brand new pace car. I keep saying that I get spoiled doing dirt broadcasts, because there it's one lap to collect the field, one lap to form up, and then we're firing them back loose instead of this 3 to 5 laps of pacing. But Timmy Bates started from the pole, currently sits at first. Oldest set of tires on track right now. Him and Frank Marchese both with 31 laps on their skins. Sam Cooper Bennett 21 laps on his. Everybody else has 9 or less. So you got to think the top 3 in a couple laps here are going to be sitting ducks, especially if this thing stays green. How much fuel do these guys have left in the tank? We are going to find out relatively short here, because the lights should be going out on the brand new pace car this coming time across the stripe. Bates, Marchese, Cooper Bennett, Ravon, Lodel, McFadden, Bloom, Bourne, Crumry, and Yari Brupatch are back into the top 10 after having issues earlier. He and Chris Walker both still running nose to tail again. Walker in the 11th spot. So still 16 cars left on the lead lap, and the only person all these cautions are helping is Shane Loveridge, as he is now only 6 laps down as he gained another free pass. So the only retirement tonight was Carl Burke, as Neil Messer did not take the green. Lights are out on the pace car as Bates going to have the button one more time. We are single file yet again. We'll be restarting with 59 laps in the books, 1:34 the scheduled distance here tonight. 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 1:34 the sch And I think we are going to find out exactly how long a tank of fuel is going to last in these things, as Timmy Bates and Frank Marchese, both with 32 laps, 32 laps on their fuel stint currently, although a lot of it has been under caution. Field working its way through the 3-4 complex. Bates in the red, white, and blue. Marchese in the Sunoco gold and blue. Green flag is out. We are back underway. Sam Cooper Bennett misses a shift. He's got Rick Ravon all over his back bumper as the green flag comes out one more time.
Absolutely, and Frank with a really nice jump there on that start. He's going to suck back up to Bates' rear bumper down the back straightaway. Frank going to take a look to the inside down here in 3 and 4, sending it off. Full send down here. Bates going to tuck down behind him. New leader out of turn number 4, Frank Marchese.
The kid from downstate New York showing the way in the Sunoco racing colors. Has the pole sitter sitting right behind him, and don't look now. Here comes that dreaded Gould Charge. And around goes Ravon. And Sam Cooper Bennett just caught more airtime than a skateboard at the X Games.
Cooper's still going.
I thought they fixed the breakdance in this car. Yeah, Ravon is going to be done because he burned his fast repair earlier. And it looks like Sam Cooper Bennett just the car just pushed up the track, and unfortunately Ravon was there, and that's going to put an end to the night of the driver of the Gould Charge number 7.
A tough break for Ravon. He had been in that earlier incident leading the race, binds himself all the way back up, battling for the top 3, and just an unfortunate incident once again, and tough luck for Ravon here tonight.
And it looks like Cooper Bennett going to be able to limp it back to the pits, burn his fast repair, hopefully get that car fixed. Hopefully. There goes the front wing. Apparently Cooper Bennett already burned his fast repair. Because they're taking a long time to repair that number 2. So while we are under caution, do we want to reach out to the driver of the Gould Charge number 7?
Absolutely.
So while we are still under caution coming out of the infield care center, we're going to reach out now to the driver of the Gould Charge number 7, Rick Ravon. Rick, Tony Trapasso up in the ESPN booth. You got me, sir?
Yeah, I got you, Tony.
That was a rough one, sir.
Yeah, it was. I mean, first Beasley got me. I mean, I wasn't even in the third lane up high, and he tagged me, but somehow the the administration called that my fault, said I came down. I was just turning into the corner, but I was in the third lane. How could that possibly be my fault? But it is what it is. And so that was a savage setback. And then, of course, me and Sam got together. Sam drifted up into me. So it's just a bad night for the Gould Charge. That's all.
Well, the good news is this coming Wednesday night, the Alpha Series is going to be going to Homestead, Miami. You've had good luck there in the past, so we're looking forward to seeing you back on track on that night.
Well, I'm looking forward to racing in the Bravo Series, period. This is a lot of fun this week. I'm actually surprised we've had so many yellow flags so far tonight because, this isn't exactly a pack race here. But I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I guess I'll just have to look forward to Homestead, and hopefully we'll have better luck there. I can't believe I got it. I was blamed for that first incident. That just blows my mind. Like I said, I wasn't even in the third lane up. I mean, what was I supposed to do? Ride the wall? I mean, I just don't understand it. But it is what it is, and on we go to Homestead, and I'll sit back and watch the rest of the show.
All right, Rick. We'll see you Wednesday night at Homestead. Best of luck to you then.
Thanks very much, Tony. Thank you.
User was moved
And you
out
can
of your
hear
channel.
the dejection in his voice tonight after just heartbreak after that second incident.
Oh, absolutely. It clearly a little upset with the way things went, but you got to think, these drivers are out here. It's a long race, and you get caught up in an incident early, have to burn that fast repair, and you know, then you get caught up in this one. It's frustrating, and you can hear it in his voice. He's a little upset tonight, but he had a great car tonight, and I'm sure going into Homestead, he's going to be that much more hungry.
Absolutely. And you wanted jet fighters in the gymnasium, you got them tonight here at the Kentucky Motor Speedway. And as I said, Wednesday night, the Alpha Series is going to be going to South Florida, and that is with the newer of the Indy cars, the IR18, the modern air quote Indy car. As the lights do go out on the new iRacing pace car, Frank Marchese going to have the button this time. How about the tin top driver showing the way here tonight?
Absolutely, Frank out front. I mean, it made a quality pass there on Bates. You got McFadden all the way up here in the third spot. Lodell sitting there in the fourth spot. Bloom all the way up to fifth. So we're seeing some different guys up here at the front of the field with all these accidents. As pace car going to pull down. Frank bringing him down, and he will fire green flag and a nice jump for Frank.
Great jump for Frank. And how about Mark McFadden making some headway right now as he is all over the rear wing of your pole sitter, Timmy Bates, right now. Dave Lodell didn't get the restart he needed as your top three starting to break away.
Absolutely. And McFadden going to look down here to the inside of Bates, seeing what he can do down here. A little bit fresher tires, like you said before, trying to keep him at bay. Bates trying to run that top side, try to keep the momentum up, maybe get a little bit of draft down here into turn one. McFadden going to go back to the bottom. Bates trying to battle back on the outside, still door to door down the back straightaway. Frank just trying to keep it out front, let these two cars behind him battle, as it looks like Bates is going to pull ahead out of turn number 4, give second spot to Bates.
And Bates is using that outside lane to his advantage, making Mark McFadden burn whatever he's got left of those 12-lap newer tires. 22-lap newer tires completely off him. As here comes Dave Lodell on the high side.
Lodell with an excellent run down that back straightaway, using that draft like I said before. And he's going to move into that third spot and see if he can make some moves and try to get up there into the second spot.
Tyler Bloom in the 96 trying to make some headway as well. The two teammates have Mark McFadden in a sandwich right now. The whole 3 wide, you're the meat kind of thing. Well, Mark McFadden is the meat in the sandwich right now. As Bloom going to try the high side going through 3 and 4, just full send it mode around the outside, doing it the hard way.
Move Bloom up into that fourth spot. It seems like Davis found something here as Bates trying to hold him at bay. He's going to get a nice little run out of turn number 2. Going to peek down to the inside. Down here into turn number 3. Bates trying to hold him at bay. Going to drift up the track just a touch there and give the back spot back to Bates. Bates playing defense really good right now.
Bates is using that outside lane to his advantage, especially on 44 old lap tires right now. He's got to be praying for another dreaded 4-letter word that I don't want to mention, as he now has to deal with the teammates of Lodell and Bloom right behind him, as Marchese just kind of on cruise control right now, almost a half second to the good over your pole sitter, Tim Bates, right now. Lodell and Bloom side by side as they come through the tri-oval.
Yeah, Bloom going to go to the inside there, and it looks like he's going to pick it up, as it looks like Dave going to look back down to the inside down the back straightaway. Bloom going to hold on to it down here in 3 and 4 and try to set his sights on Timothy Bates there in the second spot.
Lodell got the run off at 2. Bloom crossed him back over. Bloom got the run off at 2. Lodell tried to cross him back over. Didn't make it happen, though. And all that battling going on behind him, Frank Marchese just kind of setting sail right now. Clean air, definitely helping the driver of the Sunoco number 60. as Timmy Bates sits in second right now, half a second off the lead. Tyler Bloom finally gets clear of Dave Lodel as the field's starting to get a little strung out. This is actually pretty good to see. The biggest battle right now is your battle for seventh between Chris Walker and Bentley Glazer.
Yeah, and Glazer, after those earlier incidents, trying to make his way back up through the field. Walker holding on to it right now, but he has got a mirror full right now of Jari and Glazer, and Langvid trying to put his name in the mix as well, as these three cars doing everything they can to try to make big moves and get up through this field.
Patrick, Glazer, and Langvin throw a blanket over 8th through 10th right now. As that's Patrick and Glazer just in lockstep coming through 1 and 2. Still no quarter asked for, no quarter given, and both those guys have already burned their fast repair, so they both have to be a little bit on the careful side, as does James Langvin in the other Sunoco number 17.
Absolutely. You know, these guys can't be quite as aggressive as they probably want to be, you know, having burnt all these fast repairs already. It looks like Jari may be losing a couple of spots here, as it looks like Langwood going to go to the inside down here in 3 and 4. Going to try to pick up that spot, but that outside lane right now seems to be working for Jari, and he's going to hold on to it for now.
With as many laps as you guys have had on their tires, even though they have been under caution, with the heat that's in the track right now, the track temperature has dropped a little bit. If we started at 94 degrees, we're down to 84 degrees. And contact between Crumry and the 17 of Langvin, they just banged wheels coming through 3 and 4. Crumry backed out of it to make sure that he stayed safe, and that's going to lose a ton of momentum there. Meanwhile, up at the front of the field, Frank Marchese almost 9/10 of a second to the good over your pole sitter, Timmy Bates, as Bates has his rear view mirror filled with the 96 Tyler Bloom right now.
And Tyler Bloom really trying to put the pressure on him, trying to force him into some kind of mistake so he can capitalize and get into that second spot. Down the back straightaway, he's going to look to the inside. Fully expect him to go full send down here in 3 and 4. He will. Looks like Bates going to try to tuck down behind him, try to cross him over. Not going to work. Bloom moving up into second.
Bates trying to use the draft as they come through the tri-oval. Still right there with him. Now that's 22 laps is the difference between those two on tires and fuel. Frank Marchese and Tim Bates have been out there for 53 laps. Tyler Bloom, Dave Lodel, and Mark McFadden have all been out there for 31 laps. Everyone else 30 or less. So we're about to find out where the bottom of the tank actually is in these things, especially if this thing stays green much longer. I don't know how many more laps Marchese's going to have in the tank, as looks like, yes, he is, Timmy Bates bringing it pit side.
Yeah, Bates realizing, like you said, he's been out there for a really, really long time. He's going to have to come down pit road. And, if you're Frank up there in the lead, you got to be thinking the same thing at this point. How long can I go?
I wouldn't expect him to be able to go much further. As Marchese brings it down the access road this time, that's going to hand the lead of the race over to Tyler Bloom as Marchese takes the access road, relinquishes the lead. So Bloom, Lodel, McFadden, Walker, Bourne, your top 5 this time across the stripe, as we are currently working lap 83 of 134, so just past the halfway point.
Absolutely, and it looks like Bloom out front, he opened up a little bit of a lead, it seemed like, over his teammate there in Lodel. And you got to be thinking, if you're Tyler Bloom, just maintain for now, and hope for another caution here as these laps start to tick away.
Absolutely. You're in that zone right now where you run your line, you run your race, and just don't overdrive the car and just let the chips fall where they may, because we're nowhere near the money stop. So Tyler Bloom still has plenty of time left. Dave Lodel still has plenty of time left. A lot of these guys still have plenty of time left. Now, the bad news is everybody that just went pit side, Will Fletcher now a lap down in 11th. Sam Cooper Bennett a lap down. Frank Marchese a lap down. Tim Bates a lap down. They're going to get those back as the pit stop cycle through if we stay green. As Michael Bourne bringing it pit side. So
already starting to see some of these guys. Maybe these guys like you said that had stayed out for a little bit longer than the rest of these guys coming down the pit side. Guys going a lap down. You could get trapped really bad here if there is a caution. 'Cause some of these guys won't get those laps back unless the leaders pit.
Absolutely. As Glazer brings it pit side as well. Chris Walker getting side by side with Mark McFadden right now. That is your battle for third. It's Walker in the white, black, and green car, making it happen the hard way around the outside as McFadden has to kind of back off a little bit. He had him pinched down going in through 3 and 4. Walker was able to keep it wound up on the top side and made it happen. Walker up to the podium.
Absolutely, up to the podium, but still, 2.5 seconds behind your leader. And Dave, he's a half a second behind. So, Tyler right now out front, just kind of like Frank was there at the beginning of this, run after the caution, just on cruise control, relaxing. You've got up to 9th place is, a lap down. So only 8 cars on the lead lap right now. It's going to be tough if the caution comes out.
I dare say we're getting ready to see a set of green flag pit stops. Is Tyler Bloom 40 laps into his fuel run right now, and a lot of that has been under anger. Bloom, Lodel, both 40 laps in. Mark McFadden 40 laps in. Chris Walker only 33 laps in, so he can stay out a couple more laps. But I dare say we're going to see some more green flag pit stops happening here relatively short order. As Bloom still picking them up and laying them down, as Mark McFadden now has to deal with Yari Brupatcher working his outside right now as they come out of turn number 4.
Yeah, Brupatcher been reeling him in slowly but surely as we come down here into 1 and 2, going to the outside, going to try to make a move down this back straightaway, set him up a little bit. Is McFadden going to slide up? Doesn't look like it. Looks like he's going to give him the room on that outside lane. They're getting a nice run on that outside. McFadden running down on the bottom there. Trying to hold him at bay, but not quite enough. I think you get that spot to him on that lap.
Not quite, but it was dang close.
They were nose to nose at the line.
13 one-thousandths of a second separated the two. As Brupatcher not using up as much tire right now on that outside lane, giving up a little bit of track position as McFadden really has to pinch the car off. You see Brupatcher really get a run going into 1, though.
Absolutely. Brupatcher trying to stay on that outside line, kind of like you said, save those tires a little bit. McFadden running that bottom, got to be using up those tires really quickly. And he looks like he's going to go to the inside down here in 3 and 4 and try to finally pick up this spot. McFadden going to try to cross him over. Still door to door at the line.
And still give that lap to McFadden by 2 one-thousandths of a second that time. Doesn't get much closer than that. So Tyler Bloom still in control of this one, 4/10 of a second, as his teammate has a second and a half over third place Chris Walker, and then you're just over 2.5 seconds back to this battle for 4th place between McFadden and Brupatcher.
Absolutely. Tyler just trying to, looks like Tyler's going to come down pit road.
Nope, that's Mark McFadden. Oh yeah, no, Tyler Bloom is coming down pit road as well. Dave Lodel stays out in the 95, as does McFadden bringing it pit side. Walker stayed out, Brupatcher stayed out, Langman stayed out, Crumry stayed out. So Bloom the first one to blink of the leaders. And we're really going to be able to see how this is going to shake out right now, as Will Fletcher in the 28, the first car 1 lap down of those who have pitted. And that was 32 laps ago.
Taking the laps off very quickly. Chris and Brupatcher and Langman probably got to be thinking pit road here pretty soon. And if you're somebody that first lap down car, William Fletcher, you got to be thinking maybe, pit cycle starts to cycle through. Sam Cooper Bennett, Frank Marchese. These guys are probably going to try to put themselves in a nice position, with the way these tires are wearing.
Well, I bet you they're all hoping for another caution to kind of bunch this field back up. As Walker had stayed out, gets credited with leading a lap. All-important bonus point for Chris Walker. Yuri Broadpatcher stayed out as well. Crumry, Langvin, and Antonucci all stayed out. Sam Cooper Bennett, 35 laps on his old tires. Walker is in.
And it looks like Langvin coming in right behind him as well.
So Langvin wasting no time. He's bringing it pit side as well. That hands the lead of the race over to Yari Broadpatcher in the 89. So Broadpatcher, Crumry, and Antonucci, some of the oldest tires on track right now. Sam Cooper Bennett, 36 laps on his tires as well. So 3 cars left on the lead lap. That's Broadpatcher, Crumry, and Antonucci. Everybody else 1 lap or more down.
Absolutely. In these pit cycles, as they cycle through, looking down the running order and the way that things are shaken out, I mean, Tyler coming down, he had the lead there earlier. Of the lap down cars, he's what, 5th, 6th down the list? 8th down the list.
Of the cars that have come pit side, he's 5th. But there's some really weirdness going on as there's 30-plus lap differences between some of these guys.
Absolutely. And looking through, Paul still needs to come down pit road. He's up there in the 2nd position. Looks like he is going to bring it pit side this time around.
Well, he's 45 laps into his fuel run, so I would dare say that, that's about all you're going to be able to get under Anger, because he did come down last time we had a caution. So that's going to hand 2nd place over to Johnny Antonucci, who is 10 seconds back from your current leader, Yuri Broadpatcher. Broadpatcher just full send it down to the access road. Broadpatcher going pit side this time.
It looks like Antonucci going to stay out this time and get that lead spot, maybe lead a lap, and probably bring it pit side as well.
And right there, Johnny Antonucci getting credited with leading the lap. All important bonus point here early on in the Sim Racers Edge Bravo Series. Race number 2 from the Kentucky Motor Speedway. And Antonucci going to bring it pit side that time. Stayed out just long enough to get that lap led. And that looks like it's going to hand the lead of the race back over to Frank Marchese. Hey now.
Frank doing a really nice job on that pit strategy there. And you also got to think, Frank and some of these other guys on older tires than some of those other guys. So, as this starts to shake out, we're thinking probably, maybe another pit for these guys.
The guys that are pitting right now can make it from here. Marchese, he's 22 laps into his fuel run, not a chance. Tim Bates, 23 laps into his fuel run, not a chance. As we're 30 laps to go right now, guys like Dave Lodel can make it from here. Bentley Glazer might be able to make it from here. Yari Broadpatcher can definitely make it from here. Tyler Bloom should be able to make it from here. That's if we stay green. So, but guys like, Marchese and Glazer and Timmy Bates and Michael Bourne, those guys are all 20-plus laps on their current fuel stint. That's a big ask to go 50-plus laps under Anger.
Absolutely. We were talking about it just a little bit ago, coming down pit road with 42, 45 laps. So, some of these guys definitely going to have to think another pit. You know, it's one of those things where, it's a great strategy as long as you're getting the cautions that you need. But, in this situation, like you said, under anger, it's a really tall ask to make it that long.
Absolutely. But hats off to Frank Marchese tonight. Again, not normally known as an open wheel guy. We don't see him a lot in the Sim Racers Edge series. He's normally in the broadcast booth with me on Wednesday nights, the voice of the Alpha series, and he's bringing it pit side this time. So not wasting any time, knows he can make it from here, but that's going to hand the lead of the race over to Dave Lodel, as Lodel a second and a half to the good over second place Bentley Glazer. Glazer's going to have to come down pit road one more time.
Definitely going to have to come one more time. But, right now, Dave out front, he's got a nice little second and a half over Glazer. Blum back there, he's over 3 seconds back. So, if you're Dave Lodel right now, you can really take it easy and try to stretch as far as you can at least.
Yeah, absolutely. We're closing in on 25 to go. Lodel can just kind of put it on cruise control right now, as he's 1.7 to the good over Bentley Glazer. Glazer, again, has to pit one more time, so you'd need to go back to Tyler Bloom, who can make it from here. He's over 3 seconds off of Lodel. So Glazer's going to be a non-factor before the night's out. Then Yari Brubhatcher can make it from here. Chris Walker within striking distance of Brubhatcher, but he's going to have a lot of work to do. 6-lap difference on those tires. Walker with the older set between he and Brubhatcher. So that's going to be really your battle for the final podium spot if we stay green, between the 89 of Brubhatcher and the 23 of Chris Walker. As Timmy Bates back on the lead lap, but 31 laps on his fuel run, he's going to have to come pit side again as well.
Absolutely. Pits are definitely playing a factor here as the laps start to tick away, working lap 114. A lot of these guys right now, some of them can make it, some of them can't, and if you're sitting in that situation where you can't make it, it's one of those where, you just try to make it as far as you can and kind of hope for a caution. But, the way this race has progressed, since about midway there, we really haven't seen any cautions. We really haven't seen guys get too aggressive out there. So you've got to expect that this race is going to continue green for the rest of the way.
Well, I got to give a big shout out to Butch Davis up in race control tonight. He gave the guys a good talking to after we had that string of early cautions, and he basically told the guys, look, it's a Saturday night. Calm yourselves. Go have some enjoyment. We're here for a good time, and these guys have been putting on a show since then. We've seen quite a few lead changes, as we've seen a lot of guys that we don't see a lot at the front run up towards the front. It's good to see some fresh faces here, as Lodel continues to pick him up and lay him down. Now over a second to the good over Bentley Glazer in second place. Now again, Glazer is going to have to come pit side one more time. And so that's going to hand second place over to Tyler Bloom. Yari Brubhatcher should be able to make it here from here as well, as should Chris Walker. So your battle for your podium right now between Brubhatcher and Walker, as there's 9/10 of a difference between those two.
Absolutely. And, some of these guys, Jari trying to hold on to it, Walker trying to get into that podium. Still a lot of work to do, but you still have time, especially in a situation where you think you can make it till the end. You give it all you got until that final lap, and until that checker flag waves. And, if you're Tyler Blum right now, you were sitting over 3 seconds back. You've cut it down to about 2.7, getting close to 2.5 now. So, still time left in this race to make the moves, but, Tyler's got to be thinking now's the time to start pushing as hard as I can.
Especially with that 89 Iori Brubpatcher getting bigger and bigger in your rear view mirror. He's already closed in almost a full second on Bloom. So I don't know if Bloom has just kind of gone into cruise control, knowing that Glazer's going to have to pit one more time, but he better start picking him up and laying him down, because Brubpatcher and Walker are both on a charge right now.
Absolutely, and we're seeing, Blum, Brubpatcher, Walker, they are really cutting into this lead as the laps start to tick away. That last lap they gained 2/10 on our leader. We're coming down to the end of this race, but you still have to drive as quickly as you can, as we see a car on pit road.
That would be the 19 of Michael Bourne finally bringing it pit side. He was 30-plus laps on his fuel stint. Can't make it from there, so he's going to have to bring it pit side as we are quickly closing in on 10 to go. Dave Lodel showing the way right now. Half a second to the good over Bentley Glazer. The only bad news for Bentley is I don't think he can make it from here on fuel.
Yeah, Bentley trying to do everything he can right now. Just push it as long as he possibly can, especially in a situation like this where you don't think you can make it on fuel. Run it till it's almost out and bring it down pit road from there. But, try to hold on as long as he can and try to do whatever he can to maybe put some pressure on Dave and push him into something that maybe he doesn't want to do.
Well, his best bet would have been to get as close as he could to Dave, and then you use him as a draft and, try to conserve fuel as best he could. But he's losing ground again because aero push is definitely real in this car tonight, as we've seen time and time again. When they got into some packs and they got on those old tires, the aero push was very real, and we saw guys having difficulty holding it in line, and that's how we got into the trouble earlier on in the race.
Absolutely, and you look right now, that third place battle, Tyler Blum trying to hold off right now. Brubpatcher has really, really gained, and it looks like down here in 1 and 2, he's going to go to the outside and maybe try to make a move for that third spot.
Tries to get a run off of 2, slipstreams down the back straightaway, look for the crossover going into 3, as Bloom defends quite well. Brubpatcher had all the air taken off the spoiler, had to back out a little bit. And Glazer takes it pit side, so this is now your battle for second between Bloom and Brubpatcher.
Absolutely battling for that second position right now. Brubpatcher trying to do everything he can. Going to look to the inside down the back straightaway. Going down, full sand down here. Blum going to go to the outside and try to power his way around. Still door to door. It looks like at the line. Give it to Brubpatcher.
17 one-thousandths of a second. Basically the distance from the tip of the nose to the middle of the front axle. Brubpatcher up into second, and here comes Walker as well, as Bloom, full send-it mode going into 3, gets the slide job coming off of 4, going to have to get up in front of Brubpatcher, takes all the air off the spoiler coming through the tri-oval, and those two guys running side by side has let Chris Walker really reel them in. He was 0.8 back, now right on the rear wing of Brubpatcher as they haul it down the back straightaway.
Down the back straightaway, Brubpatcher going to look to the inside. Going to go down, like you said, and Walker just sitting back watching this battle unfold, looking for an opening right now. Bloom going to hold on to it for now, real close there. Almost contact made. Walker going to go down to the inside of Brubpatcher now. Brubpatcher looks like he's going to hold on to it down the back straightaway, though.
Walker with a good run off of 2, though, right in the slipstream. Going to try to slingshot going into 3. Brubpatcher saw him coming, gives him plenty of room. Going to keep it wound up on the high side, though. All that did was cost Chris Walker some time, and Tyler Bloom is looking in his rearview mirror going, yeah, you two go ahead and fight. I'm just going to see if I can reel Dave in. As Dave Lodel now 2.25 seconds to the good over this battle for second place between Bloom, Brubpatcher, and Walker.
Yeah, Dave right now in cruise control mode as these three continue to battle for that second spot. Grubhatcher still trying to put the pressure on him. Still hasn't found a way quite around him yet. Gonna go in just a touch higher, catch that draft through corner number 2 and down the back straightaway. Gonna suck up to his back bumper down here going into 3. Gonna stay behind him here in 3 and 4. Maybe look just a touch to the inside, not much there. And Blum really doing a really nice job of holding him off.
Popsicle sticks in the air. 2 more laps to go. Dave Lodel, 2.5 seconds to the good over this battle for second place. Broadpatcher, full ascendant mode going into 1. Side by side down the back straightaway with Tyler Bloom in the 96. Chris Walker's going to have one more shot at these two guys as they are side by side going into 3. That's Broadpatcher on the inside. Bloom on the high side. Bloom keeps it wound up on the top side. White flag in the air. Dave Lodel is 2.5 seconds up the track. Not a factor right now. This battle is for second between Bloom and Broadpatcher. Bloom has it. Broadpatcher wants it. Broadpatcher, though, has to be careful as he's got Chris Walker right there with him. One more shot going into 3. Broadpatcher throws it in. Bloom defends. Lodel comes home with the checkered flag. Bloom hangs on for second. Broadpatcher for third. Chris Walker for fourth. And we are waiting on 5th right now. Looks like James Langman should. There he is crossing the line in 5th. What a finish.
Absolutely. What a show for some of these guys. I mean, Broadpatcher pushed him to the very limits there. You know, Bloom had to be as defensive as he could be and, you know, just defensive enough there at the very end. And great job to Tyler Bloom on that second.
Absolutely. As just a great run from a lot of these guys. You know, the fuel mileage paid off for some of them, not so much for others. We are just currently waiting for Lodel and we're just waiting on Dave Lodel to make it into the team speak right now, as we are going to. Where are we here? I just saw him. We are going to reach out right now to the man who finished in 3rd place tonight, driver of the number 89. Congratulations on the podium, Yari Broadpatcher.
Yeah, thank you. That was an interesting race.
That was an amazing finish you guys had. You were slugging it out there with Tyler and Chris for the final almost 10 laps. You know, talk us through how difficult it was with the arrow push once you got sucked up to somebody.
So I had a little, so my tires were a little newer than most of the other guys. So it was a little bit easier to get close, especially early in the run or in that last run. But in the end, it was so difficult to get past Tyler.
Well, I mean, you had an amazing run. You got him there a couple of times, but as the tires started to wear off, we noticed that the second lane, the one closer to the wall, really started to come into effect, and it really started to be advantageous to run up there.
Yeah, I mean, I like to run the high line anyway, but it definitely became better. It was really difficult to get a run if you were on the inside line, and especially if you had a guy on the outside. That was really tough. But congrats to Dave and Tyler. Great job. And I think the first part of the race was maybe a little bit caution filled, but the second part seemed to be good.
Yeah, once they went to single file, you guys really seemed to start picking them up and laying them down at that point. Did you get concerned when we started to see the green flag pit stops, and you did go a lap down there for a couple of seconds as the pit stop started to cycle through? Were you concerned that the caution might out again?
Not really. I mean, probably I would have gotten the wave around anyway, and, so certain.
Well, Yari, it was definitely fun to watch you guys do what you do tonight. Is there anybody you want to thank before we let you go?
I just want to thank all you guys for putting on the league and the broadcast and everything.
All right. Well, Yari Broadpatcher, we'll see you Wednesday night from Homestead, Miami in the Alpha Series.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
User was moved out of your channel.
And Richard, I believe you've got
User was
our
moved to your
second place
channel.
finisher, Tyler Bloom, with you now. Whoops. Hold on.
User was moved out of your channel. User was moved
I
to
believe
your
you've
channel.
got Tyler Bloom with you now.
Absolutely. I got Tyler down here. Tyler, great run tonight. First question I got to ask you, man. Those last few laps, you got Yari all over your tail. You've got Chris right there. What's going through your mind those last few laps trying to hold those guys off?
I really, really hope Yari doesn't put me in the fence here. That's what was going through my mind. And I'm just seeing I'm looking on my relative and seeing just that time just start slowly coming down almost a tenth a lap. And I'm like, oh boy. But I made up my mind pretty quick. I was like, if he's going to pass me, it's going to have to be on the outside. I'm not letting him on. Or if he wants to pass me, he's going to have to come on the inside. I'm not letting him outside because that was definitely the grippier part of the track.
Yeah, it seemed like as we got more into the runs, a lot of guys went to the outside. It seemed like as these green flag pit stops started to roll through, some guys stayed out a little longer than others. Pit strategy was really playing a role. What was your strategy going into that final pit stop and, different things that were going on with you? What was your strategy there at the end?
I knew once I hit like the 45 lap mark of like the second to last stint, I was like, okay, I know I can make it from here because it was like about lap, I think it was like 95. I was like, I know I can make it from here. So I still had about 2 or 3 laps left. But I was like, till I really needed to get fuel. But I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and go now while I still have a little bit of tires because you want to be able to make a smooth pit entrance. So that was kind of the strategy. I mean, really, it just comes down to when do you think that last caution is going to be, because you don't want to be stuck out there like some guys were holding the bag. And luckily, I went with the majority of guys, and I think it ended up working out pretty well for a podium.
Absolutely. You had a great run here tonight. Congratulations on that second place finish again. Going to give you the microphone back one more time to shout out all those people that help you out.
I got to shout out my sponsor, the Third Room Podcast. Find it on Apple Podcasts. It's a hell of a show. Thank you to those guys for throwing a little bit of money at me. Fuzzies, because I like the taste. They will be drinking a lot of Fuzzies vodka tonight at the Bloom household. And thanks to Butch and the boys for putting on the race. Thank you guys for broadcasting. It was a great time tonight.
Well, congrats once again on that second place finish, and we'll look to see you up here again sometime soon.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can hope. It's my first one in the series, so hopefully we can make this a habit.
Absolutely. Well, I was your second place finisher, Tyler Bloom, here tonight. Tony, I think you got Dave down there.
Your channel.
I do not.
Dave not sent here yet.
Dave is still partying with his team, so we're not going to be able to get a word in with your race winner, Dave Lodel. But congratulations to him on winning here tonight at the Kentucky Motor Speedway. Quick rundown of your finishing order. Dave Lodel coming home with the victory. Biggest mover of the night as well. Started 15th. Last car to post a time in qualifying. Coming home with the victory. Tyler Bloom hanging on for second. Harry Brupatcher in third. Chris Walker in fourth. James Langvin in fifth. Mark McFadden hanging on for sixth. Paul Crumry coming home in seventh. Johnny Antonucci in eighth. And Will Fletcher in ninth. Crumry being the last car in seventh. The last car on the lead lap, by the way.
Yeah, that 10th position. Frank Marchese led a little bit of that race early. Shout out to Frank, up here. We'll see him Wednesday night. But Bentley Glazer going to bring it home in the 11th spot. Sam Cooper Bennett in the 12th spot. Timothy Bates, 13th. Michael Bourne in the 14th spot. Shane Loveridge in the 15th spot. Tough luck for Rick Ravon here tonight. Those two instances, 16th for him to here tonight. Brett Beasley in that 17th spot. Carl Burke, after that first incident, took it into the trailer 18th. And Neil Messer did not take the field here tonight, but 19th for him.
So, amazing show. Your first Indy race, Rich. Closing thoughts leaving Kentucky.
Man, I gotta say, coming into this race, it's Indy cars, it's Kentucky. I don't run a whole lot of asphalt, so I've never been to this track. I've never run Indy cars before, so it's interesting for me. And man, what a show here tonight! This was outstanding talent from some of these guys. A little bit of trouble early, with a couple of cautions, but just an outstanding show for some of these guys.
Well, we promised jet fighters in the gymnasium earlier on, and I think we delivered with all the action we saw throughout the field all night long. But again, congratulations to Dave Lodel for coming home with the victory. I got to give a big thanks to Brad Kirby in the production truck for giving you guys the shots that he was able to give us tonight. Richard Spar, thank you for joining me in the booth tonight. It's been a pleasure broadcasting with you. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to join us tomorrow night as the Majors Series goes to Long Beach with the Lotus 79. Until the next time, remember, as you walk down the road of life, don't play in traffic.